The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences. I know we're usually talking about kids' cartoons and stuff, but there's going to be naughty language. Anyway, listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast, your weekly home for animation reviews and discussions.
Okay, true believers, welcome to the Ink and Paint Club podcast for this week. Everybody's excited to be here because we're talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
What? Sorry.
Yeah, everyone's excited. Chirp, chirp, chirp.
Deafening silence.
I was waiting for him to do the intro.
I know. I'm getting to it. Yes, I'm your host, JD, your fumbling host, and we've got a very full house tonight. But as always, Mr. Kyle is here.
Yes.
I think Kyle's going in and out, but he is here.
He's phasing in and out. He got teleported in this dimension.
He's glitching.
He's phasing in and
Get
out.
him back home.
But also, Matt is returning for, I think, like the third episode in a row now.
I think I'm not sure a row, but this is my senior show, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. You've been on a while.
Yeah.
He hasn't been on in a while, but Gary's here.
Oh.
Hi, Gary.
I haven't been here for a while.
It's been a hot minute. And making his second episode return, Zephyr's back.
I figure it's appropriate for me to finally say this, but Excelsior!
There you go.
Enough said.
Rest in peace,
Hey guys,
Mr. Stan.
yes, I'm back by popular demand, which is, in this case, only one person. So, woo, go me, still counts.
Yay.
I'm glad you're here and I just met you.
Hey.
Making friendships.
You just talked a bunch of wrestling right before you hit record. So
Exactly.
Yeah. Good times.
But yeah, we are talking about the new animated Spider-Man movie, Into the Spider-Verse, and I think I speak for the whole crew here, and I was pretty impressed with it.
Spider-Man's really just had a good year in general. You know, he showed up in Avengers Infinity War. He had a really good game on PlayStation 4. Venom came out. Then this movie, I'm sure there's some good stuff that was happening in the comics too. But yeah, no, it's been a good year for him.
Sounds
Absolutely. I thought the best thing that's Spider-Man wise that came out this year was the game, because I absolutely adored the game. But then this comes along and I'm just like, oh, this just took me for a completely different spin. This is, I think, easily the best animated movie that I've seen this year.
It's definitely the best Spider-Man movie
since
yeah.
2.
Well, we could probably debate this, but I wouldn't say this is the best Spider-Man movie. It is really, really close.
It is a
But we
good
all know Spider-Man 3.
It's been
Spider-Man 3 is the best.
Sam Raimi second
It can
movie.
hold the title for now as best animated Spider-Man movie, because I'm pretty sure that's the only animated Spider-Man movie at this
I don't
point.
think there is another one.
Not for long though. They already got the spin-off and the sequel already all planned out, I think, right?
Yeah.
They sense that this is going to be a lot of money. But you know what? I still find out that the best thing about this movie, the single best thing that I'm tried to tell my friends with, this was made by Sony Pictures Animation. You know, the same people who just one movie ago made the Emoji Movie, and then they made this. So
Wait, didn't they make Hotel Transylvania 3?
well, I mean, yeah, we'll talk about that later. But they made the Emoji Movie.
They did make the Emoji Movie.
There was a lot of product.
But
At least it's not their skill, it's the script.
And
So the animation studio...
They made up.
And honestly, I'm sure a lot of the quality of this comes from Lord and Miller being involved with it.
Yes.
Because, like, the guys that made the Lego movie and Clone High, which eagle-eyed viewers would notice there's a Clone High joke in the background of this movie, and it made me happy.
Clone College.
Yeah.
It makes
my
me
friend pointed that out to me.
It makes me happy. But just to give you a bare bones explanation of this movie, and I'm just going to say right up front, yes, we are going to be talking full spoilers for this movie, so, there you go. But this is taking place in, I assume, the Ultimate Universe, because it's got Miles Morales in it, and he's learning to become...
That's the beginning.
What?
That's the beginning of the comics, really. Peter Parker dies,
Yeah.
then Miles takes over.
Yeah, so it's pulling from a couple different
sources.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Words. I know them.
The in-universe ultimate, like, when they show all the different dimensions or whatever, the one that this movie takes place in is the same designation for the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah. I noticed that when they showed the dimension map, everyone's got their right. Because I saw 616 on there for Peter's universe.
Yeah,
But yeah, this has Kingpin sets up a super collider that starts ripping open alternate dimensions, and it brings in other Spider-Men from across the Spider-Verse. Well, Spider people, really.
Yeah. Interesting choice. A diverse cast here, I have to say.
So you've got Miles, who's the Ultimate Spider-Man. You got regular 616 Spider-Man. You got Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Gwen, Penny, who is an anime character with a spider robot, and then you have Spider-Ham.
No, I like to think that we got Hobo Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, and Cartoon Spider-Man, Nicolas Cage. He's not Spider-Man. Yeah. It's Nicolas Cage. I don't see anything else. And Diva Spider, because it's Diva.
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
Straight up, my friend was just like, yo, that's Diva Spider. And I'm just like, I mean, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. I'm not too surprised with the Spider people that they chose. Penny's the only outlier, but everyone else, like, it makes sense.
I think she was also the newest one to show up. Like, I think she was created, like, of the main 5 that they have, or the main cast that they have in there. I think she was created most recently.
For, like, the Spider-Verse event that's been going on the last couple of years?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Because, yeah.
But yeah, so... what is everyone's, hot take on this movie? Like, what did you think walking away from it?
Figured you'd go one at a time on that.
I wanted to see it fucking more than once, for sure. Like,
oh yeah, I'm buying the Blu-ray of this when it comes out.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly. I want to see the behind-the-scene features because it's amazing, and I want to know how they did it.
I know there's some deleted scenes in this.
Oh yeah.
And apparently, Nick Cage and John Mulaney swore up a storm recording lines, and those are never going to get out. But God, I hope
that's awesome.
Have another Sony leak, please, because I need to get.
You got a problem with cartoons?
I do.
I gotta say, they're like as far as the voice cast goes, I was so psyched when I heard Nick Cage and John Mulaney like voicing those respective characters as Noir and Ham.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was amazing. I was like, oh man, I was already all in for the movie, but I was even in for the movie after I heard that. Like, because they're perfect. They're perfect in those roles. Another voice cast thing that surprised me, I totally forgot about until I saw the credits, was Liev Schreiber voices Kingpin.
Yeah.
Yeah, did Sabretooth and X-Men Origins, who's like one of the few good things about that movie.
Liev Schreiber's been around.
Yeah.
He's been around a lot of animated movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did a really good Kingpin.
Yeah, I think he did pretty well. Fuck, what was I going to say? Someone else say something. I lost my train of thought.
The whole voice cast is really good.
I heard that Spider-Ham and Penny were animated like in 2D.
I
could tell.
I think there were. I think there were parts. Like, I know they said that Spider-Ham, when he does like some of his cartoon effects, like he has like the weird that run where I forget what they call it, that kind of like wind up run. I think they said they had to animate that by hand, but yeah, they're like. I really dig that each of the Spider people more or less have their own animation style, like really to show that they're from different universes.
Yeah.
The interesting thing I think about this is that you have like so many different characters to juggle, and the story is supposed to be focused like on Miles. So I was thinking at first, okay, so are we going to focus on Miles and have everyone just kind of be like in the background and it'd be like Miles and friends? No, every Spider hero got their chance to shine. Of course, you got like, well, I think so, because they focused the most on Miles and Peter and Gwen, but they also gave like the others great chances to shine. At least they got their moments in.
I feel like the balance was good. The balance is definitely good, because I was a little wary at first when I saw, they originally announced the movie and everyone thought it was just going to be just a straight up Miles movie, and then more stuff came out and they were like, oh no, this is a multiverse movie, so people thought, oh, it's going to not really focus on Miles, it's going to be all across but yeah, like you said, they got all the characters got their chances to shine, but at its core the movie still really is focused on building up Miles as like the Spider-Man for this new series, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that they did that.
That is it. Like, I understand, and I think the way they went about it is the right way. But like my one gripe, and it's a tiny gripe, is that like you said, the movie mostly focuses on Peter, Miles, and Gwen, and it just kind of feels like Penny, Spider-Ham, and Noir are just kind of there to be like, hey, look at these other ones from the comics, they're here too. Because even when they like do that thing where they're explaining their origins, they just slam all three of them together. And I just kind of feel like they're in the background and used for like visual jokes, like where I love the running joke with the Rubik's Cube with Noir because he can't see colors. Because he thinks it's purple or something, and then takes it back to his universe.
They got really emotional too with Penny. Like, they really focused on the whole death there.
And I feel like that came kind of out of nowhere. It's like she has this like weird emotional moment after her robot gets destroyed, and it's just like, okay, it happens, and then they move on.
And Spider-Ham got like his big cartoony slapstick fight. I mean, the anvil.
Just an anvil out of nowhere.
Yeah. I really wanted him to do the Kennedy kick dance. I would have loved that.
Oh, Kyle, you've been kind of quiet. What did you think?
It all right.
Oh, come on now.
Really?
No, it was pretty great. I liked it. I liked that Miss Frizzle was in the movie. That was fucking nice.
Oh,
Jesus.
Man, that had me. My jaw dropped when I saw.
A lot
like,
of people were
Lady
surprised.
Doc now. Okay.
Which is not necessarily unheard of.
I didn't see that coming at all. It wasn't in a trailer. It's a pleasant surprise.
Good. Trailer didn't spoil it.
I think they edited out all our shots in that chase scene.
Yeah, because they even released the scene of them like running from the lab and then meeting up with Gwen, and they edited that for the online clip they put out, and yeah, completely got her out of there, and I was very impressed with how they maneuvered around that.
Yeah.
The way the tentacles, like the way they approached it, was really neat. Like,
yeah, they weren't
sort of pulsating tubes.
They were like controlled by like compressed air instead of like being mechanical.
It was pretty neat.
Yeah,
definitely an original take on it.
It makes complete sense too.
Yeah, I mean they're collapsible and all that.
I think also one of my favorite things about it is how Miles actually gets the suit, because they spoiled that a lot in the trailers and TV spots. Like, when does he get the suit? But I just love that he puts a personal touch on it. Like, he literally just spray paints over, like, boom, there's my suit. And I love it too, because it's because I've seen the comics and everything, and I know how it looks. But the spray paint touch, I think, is such a Miles thing to do, you know, and it really fits his character.
It was a real milestone for his character.
Oh my!
Kyle, what were you saying?
Can you imagine how bad that would smell?
Oh no! I was
expecting like the paint to rub off.
I had that exact thought as soon as he started spray painting. It's like, oh, it's gonna smell awful.
Oh, he's just gonna get high on the fumes and start crashing into things.
Oh,
like,
dude, what if that whole fight scene at the end is just Miles really high off of paint, and he's just imagining that whole thing?
Well, man, I saw buildings come out. I saw this girl got hit by a truck. There was a pig with a hammer.
The Blob was there in a suit.
Okay, can we please talk about how fucking massive Kingpin is?
Oh, Lord.
He's wider than the SUV that he was in.
Dude, yeah, that's not a fucking SUV. It's like, how does he fit in there?
He looked like the butler from Cats Don't Dance. I mean,
that's how he reminded me of. I was trying to think of that. Oh my God, you're right. He totally does.
That's funny.
He looks so disproportionate to everything in the movie.
And I think it was really kind of funny that I was laughing so hard, and I don't think anyone else around me found it as funny, but I love when they were just showing his family portraits, and he's just so fucking massive compared to the rest of his family.
Well, the first shot the first shot of him, it's like his face is in the middle, and then it's just black around him.
Yeah,
for the suit.
exactly.
And
This
I
boy.
just every time I saw him on screen, I just started laughing because it was just comical how big he was.
Yeah.
Like, everyone else is, like, pretty normally proportioned, but this man is just a mountain. Like, I get it, he's supposed to be, like, physically imposing, but, like, damn. How does he get through
felt,
doors?
though, most of the other villains, though, kind of got, I don't know, put to the sidelines. Like, Green Goblin was there for, like, I don't know, a minute. And then you got, like, Scorpion, who's there for a minute. But at least, like, Prowler got something good out of it.
That was cool.
They sort of have to.
Prowler's integral to Miles' whole backstory, so I'm glad that they didn't just sort of shoo him off. Like, that they built that whole thing up.
They really built a good character out of him. I was impressed.
Yeah. And they made him really menacing, too, which was a surprising thing. Like, they actually made him, like, it seemed like a threat. Like, it was really neat.
Him getting chased and everything and all the tech that he had.
Yeah.
Kyle, what were you saying?
I really dislike shit, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought.
Who don't you like, Kyle?
I don't know. I don't remember. I have to give it some thought.
Okay.
Keep talking.
I feel like with as little the screen time as the other villains got, I still like that they were very varied. Like, the whole redone Doc Ock is really cool. The Scorpion-esque Scorpion was really neat.
Scorpion was just really random. Like, the way that they decided to portray him, where he's like this dude with like scorpion things, and he just like has robotic scorpion limbs that he can just...
Reminds me of that terrible CGI rock scorpion from
God, don't remind me of that.
I thought I was going to say, he reminded me more of the villain in Wild Wild West.
Oh, yeah. Kind of.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I really, really do not like Ultimate Goblin, and
how
who they had him in there.
Yeah, because Ultimate Goblin's like an actual, like, he's not a dude in a suit, he's like an actual goblin.
No,
yeah,
man. This feels like more of a... Oh, go ahead.
There's like a whole storyline with goblins and hobgoblins, and it's like that's its own thing in the Ultimate comics. That I don't like him, but he was only there for a couple.
Yeah, he kind of just pieces out after Ultimate Spider-Man dies. Blonde Peter dies.
Too,
Oh
man, I was not expecting that. I'm just like, wait a second, something's off.
I was waiting. I was actually kind of confused because like the trailers kept showing like Peter is gonna train Miles, and it's like, oh, okay, so Spider-Man is in this universe. Like, doesn't Miles become Spider-Man after his universe Peter dies? But then they show he's blonde Spider-Man. I'm like, oh, that's
who was voiced by Chris Pine.
I didn't find that out to the credits. It's like, holy shit.
What that was? Seriously?
That was Chris Pine. And I love that because it was Chris Pine, they got him to sing the Jingle Bells song at the end.
Yeah, that was worth saying.
That took me by surprise. You got all these two rap songs, and then Spidey Bells. I just perked up in my seat like, you're kidding.
I just love how he starts like just ending the song where it's like, why did I take this job? Why am I doing this?
I
thought, like... Hobo Peter was one of the best characters in this movie.
I like Hobo Peter.
It was
yeah.
Hobo Peter was amazing. Like, it was such a unique twist on him. He's just this old, decrepit, chubby. I don't care anymore. Spidey.
I just love that.
It's really the natural progression of that character. Like, it's the logical place where Spider-Man would end up. Like, I was reading a thing earlier that was saying the Peter Parker that died in Miles' universe is sort of like a amalgam of like all the media Spider-Man, like representative of all the movies and games. Like, they do the whole, sequence of his origin that show scenes straight out of the Raimi films and stuff. But
even Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. But then
even that part.
I'm glad they did.
What's the best part of the flashback?
It was.
He even says we don't talk about that.
But then they were the article I was reading was also saying that this Spider-Man, the one from 616, is like the one, like that's how Peter Parker would eventually end up. But of course, we would never see that in the comics because they constantly reboot it and restart everything. So
if they'd let it continue, that's where he'd go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually really like Spider-Gwen in this too. I started reading Spider-Gwen leading up to this because I wanted to get more in tune with her character and everything. And she did an amazing job here. She was not the token girl character. She actually had some really good moments in here too.
Oh yeah.
I love how she
it's
got
weird,
her
there's-
haircut.
Yeah.
That was
a nice
not
touch.
expected at all.
So I need you guys to repiece things. Even though I saw this yesterday, my memory's really bad. Did he meet Gwen at the school before Spider-Man died?
Yes.
Wasn't the fight with Goblin when they shoved Ultimate Blonde Peter's face into the particle accelerators what ripped everyone out of their own dimension?
She did say that she was flung back 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what she meant.
Yeah.
then.
Travel
Okay.
money, my friend.
Okay.
That's how they get away with it. I like how it didn't affect anyone else, though.
Yeah, that is because that's what was really throwing me for a loop the whole movie. Is like, how did Gwen get here before everybody? And I guess I must have just missed that thing where she got sent back in time. Which yeah, it makes sense. Like, why is she the only one that got sent back in time?
Really quick during her origin, like she just mentioned it like in half a second.
Yeah, it was a really quick thing.
And I think that's them definitely planting the seeds for like I would like to talk about one of the post credit scene here for a second.
Oh,
like,
go for it.
Yeah, so I think definitely they did the whole not only multiverse dimension hopping stuff, but like they planted the seeds for the time travel aspect because Spider-Man 2099, shows up in the post credits, whose whole thing is like, he's from the future, and some of the comics and some of the games, like, he goes back in time, or like he sort of collaborates with the other Spider-Man to try to, like, I think he plays a key part in one of the comic storylines for the Spider-Verse ones. I don't know that for a fact, but I think that sounds right.
They did the meme. They did the meme.
Okay, so I want to say that this movie is almost on the level of being very aware of itself, almost as much as the Lego Batman movie was.
Oh yeah.
Just like being very aware of its history and all the jokes and memes that come along with it, because there's so many Spider-Man memes in this. Like during the credits, they do the fucking Spider-Man sitting at a desk with his own phone with the background thing, and then like 2099.
Fun fact.
What?
No, I just want to point out something else, a really quick fun fact. Stanley has 2 cameos in this. He has the cameo where he actually fits in really well with the plot by giving Miles the costume, but he also has a voice cameo as J. Jonah Jameson in the post credits.
Oh, it's the 60s. Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, that was him.
He actually has like a lot of cameos in the movie. Like those are the most notable ones were those 2, and then like I was reading a thing with Lord and Miller. He also shows up in the scene where Miles and Peter like laying in the street.
Yeah, he's the one who steps over him.
Yeah, but then apparently in every crowd shot in the movie, they put Stan Lee in the giant crowd shots too. So he's all over the place.
That's funny.
Too. Yeah,
really
I'm sure
nice.
there's gonna be once the Blu-ray comes out, there'll be a Stan hunt to find him.
No lie, I cried a little when I saw his cameo.
Yeah, I was here a little bit.
Yeah, it is sad, and I did like that they gave him and Steve Ditko a little thing at the end.
Yeah,
just dedicating the movie to them. But it's going to be even more sad because this isn't going to be his last cameo. I think they said they shot his for Avengers Endgame already.
Yeah.
So
And,
I think that's going to be the last one, which makes me wonder if Spider-Man Far From Home is going to be the first Marvel movie without him in it.
Well, I think.
What about Captain Marvel?
Yeah, they've talked about doing other cameos besides like actual filmed cameos, like about putting his picture around the place. Like they did that for Deadpool too, if I remember right.
And I think that's what they the Netflix series just has him in pictures and stuff, which I assume that's what they'll do now.
And it's a respectful way to honor his legacy of doing cameos, which is I think nice. It's good. Or in the case of like the animated ones, they could just have them animated around. Just don't don't sentence mix his words together to.
Oh God, don't do that.
Which I don't think they would. I think they respect Stan too much to really do that.
Yeah. But another thing I really want to emphasize about this movie is like, I don't think I've ever seen a movie animated like this before.
Yeah, it
It's
has a very
breathtaking.
distinct style to it. It almost looks like stop motion-ish at some points too.
It's stop motion. There's just like comic like you can. It's almost like how Telltale does their models, where you can actually see like some of the lines actually drawn on them.
Yeah.
The comic book style of it. There's also, I think, like what is it? I think a lot of like the spray paint style is there too, with how they do certain parts.
So, did everyone go see this in 2D, or anyone see it in 3D?
I saw it in 2D.
Okay.
I didn't. I don't think it's in 3D anywhere.
I think they put it.
It is in 3D, and one of the interviewers said that you need to watch it in 3D.
Honestly, after watching this, I want to go watch it again in 3D, because I think this is one of the few movies that like it needs to be seen in 3D.
They're still doing 3D movies?
Oh yeah,
okay,
it's still a thing.
A lot of movies, live action.
But
animated.
What I wanted to ask is, or I guess something that kind of I had to get used to in the movie. There'd be times where the camera focuses on the characters, but literally everything around them is like super blurry, or just like
I think they're trying to imitate the sometimes off-color printing of comic books.
Yeah. There's just like a lot of blurry elements behind, like around the characters, behind them, and I almost was wondering, is like, did the theater put the 3D print in here on accident and just didn't tell anybody? But no, that's just how the movie is.
Near the end, where they send the characters back to their respective universes and everything, I like how the background actually fits with, like, you know, the way that they're originally supposed to be. Like Gwen's universe has like the purple and orange haze type haze,
like the vaporwave.
Yeah, the vaporwave thing. And you got like the cartoon universe for Spider-Man, black and white for Noir, and the anime style for Penny. It all really fits in very well.
Yeah.
So who's everyone's favorite Spider person from this movie?
Oh, Spider-Gwen, easily.
Yeah,
it's got to be Spider-Ham. I love John Mulaney. He's so perfect. Like it's that casting is so good.
I'm just more sad that John Mulaney didn't have more to do. I need more John Mulaney Spider-Ham.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a bunch on the Blu-ray.
Man, give him like some shorts or whatever. Like have him just do like Spider-Ham shorts, like before the movies and stuff.
That would be amazing if they did that.
Like the way they did for like Pixar shorts, or like freaking when they used to do like the Roadrunner. How did they get those two messed up? Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote cartoons. Like just have them like before the movie or something, and then like there you go. Spider-Ham's like got his own thing.
I was gonna say Roger, like how they did with Roger Rabbit, but
that's too.
Comparison.
Kyle,
I feel like though if they were to continue this as an animated series, like I feel like the choice that we have here, I think would be perfect for it.
Like a film series or a TV series?
Well, TV series, but also like whatever film series they're going to be doing, because they're making a sequel that's going to focus on Miles and Gwen, and then they're going to make a spin-off which focuses on all the women. All the Spider Women,
like, which
Spider-Gwen, Silk.
Yeah.
Choices here makes a lot of sense because each of them stands out.
Yeah, so it's really cool that they're going to be able to do that, and I think with the amount of success that this movie is going to generate, both at the box office and review wise, this movie got 100% before it even came out. How do you do that?
The movie came out 2 weeks before.
Yeah, there was a
review being up.
There were a few theaters in my area that were showing it like a week or two ahead of time, like for a weekend showing.
This already has a bright future, I think, and I think pushing behind this is probably going to be the best way for Spidey to live on in the animated universe.
Yeah, and
I really want to see in one of the sequel or whatever, it's to have all of the live action Spider-Man show up, but in live action.
You have one voice by Tom Holland, one voice Wire, one voice by Andrew Garfield.
Actually showing up shot on a green screen. I don't want them animated.
Well, I mean, that's I don't know if they do that far, but I mean, it even showed in when they go down to the Spider Cave that there's all these suits referencing to others.
Game and other.
There's a Spider-Man.
They had the PS4 suit in there,
and they had. I noticed the Iron Spider suit was in the back too.
Can we also just point out how boss Aunt May is?
Like, I love Aunt May in this movie.
Yeah, she's great. She's like the Alfred Pennyworth version of Aunt May.
Pretty much.
The cool shed that goes into like spider cave.
Literally just goes up to one of the monster guys and just like whacks him in the face with a bat. I feel like
Take it outside.
This outside, please.
Yeah.
he's like not even phased by it at this point. Oh man. Fuck, I was gonna say something. I don't remember what it is now.
Anybody care about Mary Jane being in this?
Okay, this is bugging me that I can't find the answer to. I almost think that Mary Jane in this movie is voiced by Kirsten Dunst, but I can't confirm that it is.
Mary Jane is voiced by Zoe
Deschanel?
Is that who Zoe Kravitz was voicing?
Yeah.
Okay, I swear I was looking at the credits and I could not find, like, Mary Jane was not on the list for some reason.
Do not get me started with Kirsten Dunst, Mary Jane. Just.
I sat through the whole movie thinking it was her because it's like, oh, that's a cute nod to the Raimi movies, but I was
think we would have heard
wrong.
about it.
Probably. Well, I am the fool.
Oh, that was okay. So that was something I wanted to bring up earlier. Was I was convinced before the movie came out that the whole climax was going to involve like even more spider people showing up to have this one giant ass battle, and like it was my hope that they were going to get like Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire to voice like their world Spider-Man in there. But one thing that actually did happen, as far as like a surprise casting that I didn't know about, was I mentioned 2099 earlier. He's voiced by Oscar Isaac, which is a pretty.
Oh
yeah, that's Poe from the new Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's also Apocalypse and the X-Men movies.
Oh yeah. So
I think
there's
it's
been
really
a ton of
neat.
other stuff too, but.
Yeah, so
I was wondering. I'm just like, wait a minute, aren't they forgetting? And then we get to the post-credit scene. There he is. I was wondering where you.
They're saving him for the sequel.
This is good stuff.
Yes,
Absolutely.
So yeah, they're definitely gearing this.
Really curious to know that if the Japanese dub would put the whole "Emissary from Hell" tagline somewhere.
Oh.
I really want one of the Spider-Man to say that in Japanese.
I wish that specific Spider-Man was in this movie.
I know
yeah.
I'm pretty sure him, or at least his robot, is in the Spider-Verse comic storyline.
Yeah, he's officially canon.
Yeah, no, like all Spider-Man and all media are canon. They're just in different universes. Because like I want to read the Spider-Verse comic story, because just like I keep reading about how many different Spider-Men they just pull together.
I've read bits and pieces of the current Spider-Verse comic, and the best part is the PS4 Spider-Man finding out that Spider-Cop actually exists.
Spider-Cop.
Oh yeah, I saw that page.
That's the best part. God, there's. I think you were saying before, JD, that like this has been a really good year for
Matt. Matt was saying that, but yeah.
Oh, Matthew, sorry, my bad. You were saying that this has been a really good year with all like the Spider-Man stuff that's been coming out.
Yeah.
Like, Infinity War and Venom and the PS4 Spider-Man and just all this good stuff. I think I found it interesting that they even included a scene from the Spider-Verse movie at the end of Venom. Like I didn't quite get that at first. I thought we were linking up to something. I wonder if we'll ever get to see Venom like in any of these animated movies.
Maybe.
I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, it would have been weird to include him in this one. So.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't really fit. Would really feel shoehorned in.
So it's not like it would very, very easily for them to like put him in if they want to.
Oh, give them time.
Like I wasn't even sure if we saw that suit like in the credits, or because they had a bunch of other spider suits and spider people in the credits.
Yeah,
I didn't recall seeing any with the black suit.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the black suits in the spider cave.
Mm.
What I was gonna say before is that for as great as this movie is like being received like critically and by audience and stuff, I see this getting nominated at the Oscars. I know for a fact it won't win.
No, whatever Disney movie.
Because Ralph is going to win because it's Disney and that's what old people vote for.
You know what? I'm just going to come out and say it. Wreck-It Ralph 2 was not that good.
It was.
We had a whole discussion about that.
There was a whole episode.
Kyle was very upset about it.
I do not like it.
I thought it was okay, but I was also really drunk when I saw it. So
it all right.
Give some love to Isle of Dogs or something. Give that a nomination.
Isle of Dogs was pretty good. Yeah, we'll be doing a year in animated film wrap up here in a couple weeks. So we'll talk about all the animated movies that we didn't get to this year and probably recover the ones that we did. But
I think to wrap this up, if you're a Spidey fan, definitely see this. If you are just at least a bit interested in this, you don't need to have a lot of knowledge of the comics to go into this. Just dive on in and see what happens. It would be nice to have knowledge, but
honestly, I think a lot of people, and obviously from my white boy perspective, I don't know how much I can speak to this, but I think this is going to do a lot of what Black Panther did.
Oh yeah.
Is because literally the two people sitting next to us in the theater were these 60-something-year-old black couple, and this guy was having a ball with this movie. Just like every time Spider-Man did something, he's like, "Oh Lord," and just I don't know, it was delightful. He was having fun.
Yeah. It's good for the other Spider people to get like media recognition, because you know, having him in the comics and stuff is all fine and good, but really mainly people are gonna look to movies and television to sort of see representation for this sort of thing. So it's good that we're finally getting like, you know, Spider-Woman and, you know, Miles up on the big screen, and like people are gonna be aware of their existence now and go and see, you know, look for all the other material with them in it, and they're just gonna be made that even more, you know, popular in the public eye because of that. So I think that's very nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that like this is Sony's way of testing the water for sure. Like if they ever like want to introduce any of these characters live action wise, like a test audience kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Have this Miles show up like in the MCU at some point.
They were already teasing that though. I think in Homecoming they actually have Donald Glover is
yeah, he's Aaron,
the Prowler.
Yeah, he's Uncle Aaron.
That character.
And
which is funny. They actually did do a reference to that in this movie. I think during the scene where Miles is at his Uncle Aaron's, there's an episode of Community where Donald Glover's wearing the Spider-Man pajamas, and it's kind of like blurred out.
Oh, is that? I was trying to figure out what was on what TV he was watching, but the fact that it's Community makes complete sense.
I'm glad that they did the shout out to Miles there, because aside from like, you know, having him in the Spider-Man Homecoming movie, like obviously to anyone listening that's not aware, there was the whole campaign back when they were rebooting this franchise for the first time for Amazing Spider-Man. Like Donald Glover had a grassroots campaign to get him to be in the movie. Obviously that didn't happen, but they eventually had him come on as the voice for Miles and Ultimate Spider-Man, and then they had him in Homecoming as Miles' uncle.
Right.
And they have a little cameo in this movie, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, and he even mentions like, "Oh, I got a nephew in the movie." So yeah. Who knows? We might see Miles, but I think ultimately this movie is Sony flexing to Marvel, like saying, "Oh, look, we still have Spider-Man. You know, we still own the rights to Spider-Man. We're gonna do all this stuff with him now because the MCU's done so great." So they're just
honestly, that's fine as long as they continue to put out quality content.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not a competition.
I mean, if competition is going to breed good results, like if we're going to get more Spider-Man material like this, I'm totally down for whatever Sony wants to do.
It's some of the best Spider-Man stuff in a long time.
Sort of like a not parasitic relationship, but a symbiotic.
I get it.
Yeah, so if Sony's gonna, I haven't seen Venom. I heard kind of mixed things about it.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, everyone's either loved it or they hated it, and I feel like I should sit down and actually watch it.
Not a great movie, but it's fun.
Yeah,
it's very fun.
From the people who liked it, saying it's flawed, but it's fun.
It's like a movie. It's like one of the old early 2000s movies somehow got delayed and ended up here.
So. All right then. But yeah, if Sony's gonna be doing more Spider-Man projects at this level, I'm fine with them not giving the rights back to Marvel completely, because Lord knows Disney doesn't need another property it controls.
And as long as they're planning on collaborating with, you know, Sony and Disney as far as Spider-Man's concerned, I mean, you know, that's all fine and good too.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna just say this. You can make as many animated series of Spider-Man as you want, Disney, but they're never going to beat Spectacular Spider-Man, okay?
Oh, my God.
You can try, but it'll never beat Spectacular Spider-Man.
It was so good. Why did they? I know why they canceled it, but why did they cancel it?
It makes me
So
sad.
good.
Why do you have to remind me of these things?
I wanted Josh Keaton to come back as Spectacular Spider-Man in this movie, and that would have been
Oh, man.
totally fine by me.
That's really cool.
I do like that there's that even after Spectacular got canceled, they got Josh Keaton to voice some of the video game Spider-Man. Because I know he voices him in that Shattered Dimensions game.
Yeah,
He voices Ultimate Spider-Man, and I know he's Spider-Man in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which actually, in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they had him as Spider-Man, and they had all the voice actors from Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes as the Avenger voices, which
is a great voice cast.
it is a great voice
yeah,
cast. So when you put it up against Marvel Infinite, it's kind of lacking, but that's not
Here
we're getting off track.
Yeah. Well,
let's just wrap this up.
Yeah. So
this is a whole movie about alternate Spider-Man. We're just talking about alternate Spider-Man. I mean, we're technically on
okay,
subject.
yeah, fair enough.
Technically speaking.
But
But this was a great movie. Totally worth my time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're a Spider-Man fan, if you're an animation fan, or just want to see a cool movie, I think you were right, Zephyr. I think this is hands down probably one of the best, if not the best, animated movie this year. And I really wanted Incredibles 2 to be that movie, but
that's number 2 for me.
It's up there, but I don't know if it tops that. I think I might like this movie better.
Yeah, I
The
feel like this
story
just
works
overall
better.
had the perfect balance to it.
Yeah, it's
Story and art.
yeah. So all that stuff combined, I think this is probably one of the best, if not the best, animated movie to come out in 2018. So we'll see how they stack up with the awards season coming out. But
here's hoping.
Yeah. So has anyone else got anything they want to say before we sign off tonight?
With great power comes great responsibility.
I think
and it's your responsibility to watch this movie and it's already done well.
Speaking of responsibility, remember to thwip responsibly too.
Yes.
Thwip and release.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank all of you guys for being here tonight. It was fun talking about the Spider-Mans with you all.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
Yeah.
Yes,
And be responsible and subscribe to this podcast.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks for shilling for me. Alright, and thank you everyone for listening to the review, and check us out next week for whatever else nonsense we're doing. So we'll catch you all next week.
Peace.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can catch a new episode every week. Also be sure to follow us on our Facebook and Twitter so you can keep up with the show. Links are in the description. We'll see you next week.